Welcome dear viewers. In this video, I am going to explain the movie The Bourne Identity. It is the first part in this 5-part series. It stars Matt Damon as the lead character Jason Bourne, a CIA assassin. It shows his struggles as an assassin, and various powers at play, pulling the strings behind the scenes. If you like watching such breakdowns, then please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon. Without any further ado, let's get started. The movie starts in the Mediterranean Sea, where some Italian fishermen spot a man adrift in the sea. They rescue him and tend to his wounds, as he appears to be American. They find that there were 2 gunshot wounds on his back. When he regains consciousness, they find that he has no memory of his identity nor his past. He becomes overwhelmed and disoriented. They also find a tiny laser projector, embedded under his skin in his hip, that gives the number of a safe deposit box in Zurich. At the CIA headquarters, Alexander Conklin, the chief, was informed about some mission failing. He spends a few days with the fisherman while trying to remember his past. He finds out that he possesses advanced combat skills, he has fluency in several languages, and can read ships' navigational maps effortlessly. He decides to travel to Zurich, to investigate the safe deposit box, in hopes to learn more about himself. As they reach the port, they help him a few bucks. Then he travels to Zurich. By the time he reaches, it was already late at night, so he decides to spend the night at the park itself. 2 night patrolling cops finds him asleep at the bench, and ask him to show his identity. Since he couldn't show anything, they try to arrest him. But due to his muscle memory, he defends himself and beats the cops unconscious. He was shocked at his combat skills, and runs away terrified from the park. Meanwhile, in CIA Paris office, a group of high-ranking agents watch an interview of Wombosi, in which he claims that CIA tried to assassinate him, and he's got evidence to prove it. Wombosi is planning to expose CIA. Then CIA Deputy Director, Ward Abbott, meets with Conklin, and inquires him about the assassination on Wombosi. Conklin reveals that Operation Treadstone, a CIA Black Ops program, was used for the assassination. But the assassination attempt failed as their agent went missing during the operation. The next morning, in the bank, he asks for his safe deposit box. After getting his biometrics approved, his safe box was brought to him. He anxiously opens the box and finds a passport. He learns that his name is Jason Bourne, he is an American and lives in Paris. Along with that, he also finds various currencies, different passports, and different identities with different names, and a handgun. He takes everything but the gun. He learns that he had visited the bank 3 weeks earlier. As Bourne leaves the bank, a bank employee contacts the Treadstone's head, Conklin, who issues alerts to police to capture Bourne. Meanwhile, Bourne tries to call the address from his passport, but soon suspects that cops are onto him. Bourne tries evading the Swiss police by using his US passport to enter the American consulate. He pretends to be in the line, until his cover was blown. He was pursued by the Marine Guards. Using his skills, he escapes the consulate. Then in a nearby alley, he encounters Marie Kreutz, a 26-year-old German woman whom he saw at the consulate earlier. He offers her $20,000 to drive him to an address in Paris. At first, she hesitates as they both were strangers to each other. But she was facing monetary problems, and $20,000 drive to Paris is a lucrative offer, to which she finally agrees. Meanwhile, Conklin learns that Bourne is still alive, and assigns 3 agents to kill him. The agents were Castel, Mannheim, and the Professor. Bourne and Marie drive through the Swiss Alps and reach Paris the next morning. Upon arriving at the address, the landlady recognizes Bourne, but he couldn't remember anything. Bourne invites Marie in his house to freshen up. They enter his apartment. While Marie was cleaning up, Bourne investigates the house. He contacts Regina Hotel through the last dialed number on the phone. He inquires about the names on his passports there. He learns that a John Michael Caine has booked that hotel, but died 2 weeks before in a car crash. All of a sudden, CIA assassin Castell ambushes Bourne and Marie in the apartment, but Bourne gets the upper hand. Instead of allowing himself to be interrogated, Castell throws himself from a window to his death. While searching through Castell's belongings, Marie finds wanted posters of Bourne and herself, and becomes too worried. Bourne pays her money for the drive, and he suggests her to go to the cops while he runs away. But Marie decides to stick with him instead. Conklin learns that his first assassin was killed by Bourne. He sends the Paris police force to capture Bourne. After the two evade police in Marie's car, they spend the night in a motel. Meanwhile, Wombosi obsesses over the assassination attempt on his life. Conklin, having anticipated this, planted a body to pose as Caine, in a morgue to appear as the assailant, but Wombosi remains unconvinced, and threatens to report the CIA's actions to the media. Conklin then hatches a new plan. He appoints a new assassin, the Professor, to assassinate Wombosi. He successfully kills him in his own house. Bourne, posing as Caine, visits a company called Alliance Securities. After a lot of brainstorming, he learns about the failed assassination attempt on Wombosi's yacht, and that the assassin was shot twice in the back during the escape, ultimately realizing that he was a CIA agent responsible for the attack. Bourne and Marie realize that police has discovered their hotel. So they take refuge at the French countryside home of Marie's half-brother, Eamon, and his children. Under pressure from Abbott to handle the matter, Conklin tracks Bourne's location to the French countryside, and sends the Professor to kill him. A fight ensues between the Professor and Bourne, in which the assassin is mortally wounded by Bourne, and reveals their shared connection to Treadstone before dying. Bourne sends Marie, Eamon, and the children away for their protection, then contacts Conklin via the Professor's phone, and they agree to meet alone in Paris. When Bourne sees Conklin is not alone, he abandons their meeting, but manages to place a tracking device on Conklin's car, leading Bourne to Treadstone's safe house in Paris. Amidst constant scrutiny, Bourne breaks in and holds Conklin, and logistics technician Nicky Parsons at gunpoint. Conklin reveals to Bourne about his association with Treadstone and presses him to remember his past. Bourne recalls his attempt to assassinate Wombosi through successive flashbacks. Under orders from Treadstone, Bourne infiltrated Wombosi's yacht as Caine, and managed to get close enough to assassinate him. However, Bourne was unable to find the nerve to kill Wombosi while his children were present with him, and instead fled the deck, but he was shot during his escape, leading to his memory loss. Bourne announces he is resigning from Treadstone and warns Conklin not to follow him. As agents descend on the safe house, Bourne fights his way through. When Conklin leaves the safe house, he encounters Mannheim, who kills him under Abbott's orders. He then shuts down Treadstone. Abbott reports to an oversight committee that Treadstone is decommissioned, and turns to a new project codenamed Blackbriar. Some time later, Bourne finds Marie renting out scooters to tourists on Mykonos, and the two reunite. And the movie ends. If you enjoyed watching this video, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel for the next part, and I thank you very much for your support.